The first thing that I did this morning when I woke up was to just be calm and just meditate. And for me, meditation is a process where you think through different processes and definitely involve God in that thinking. So it's not the thinking or the meditation of the new age where people get detached from their body. It's a totally different meditation where I'm processing and going through different aspects of life using God. Your questions are hard. Maybe I'll go back to the meditation question, and the reason I was trying to run away from that is because when people think of meditation, they think of the new age kind of meditation, but that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to where you wake up and you think about the things that are to come, and also, you know, probably go through a process of what has happened in the past. So I think in the last few days I found myself, you know, going through a process where understanding the years that have gone past and then thinking towards what is about to come, which is called prognostication, where you're able to think and also come up with new ways of what is supposed to come in the future. My thinking and my meditation is mostly inspired by God. So even as I wake up and I have different thoughts, and even about Glasshouse PR, I have to look back and see 11 years. It's been 11 years. How did I start? What inspired me to start? The conviction that I had when I was starting out. Why did I follow it up to where I am, and what, you know, how does the future look like? So just making sure that meditating and thinking through certain processes with God. So that's meditation for me. I think I've grown as a person from a professional perspective, a spiritual perspective. Of course, physically, it's been 11 years, so plus 11 years. I feel like I was very, I still had the conviction, but I was very naive. And this far, I've grown in so many ways. I think when I'm comfortable around people, I tend to let my guard down. But as I said earlier, I've grown in wisdom, so I don't even think I have any guard anymore, whatever a guard means. I think I relate to different people differently as per, you know, what the interaction is supposed to be. So guard and no guard, no longer a big deal. I don't come from a family that I know anyone who was an entrepreneur. I didn't even think I would be an entrepreneur. It was also a shock for me. So I'm the first in this. I don't. I grew up in the village in Limuru.
Limuru is a village?
Yeah, that's the thing. I find it like you can go to somewhere in Udhiru. It's close to Nairobi, but it's a village. So I'm trying to remember the funniest things to do during festivals. I don't know, going to those cinemas where you watch movies and then there's a guy there interpreting, either in Kikuyu. Nyoka, near there. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think they would interpret in Kikuyu. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Yeah. I remember my nickname later in life than growing up, which was Katoi. Yeah, because I was, I think, tiny and small, and yeah, yeah. My heart is still open to learning, still very open to people. So I feel like that has remained. Cartwheels. I think I like many childlike activities. Yeah, I play a lot with children, by the way. Yeah.
You can do cartwheels?
I think, yeah, I could. I think for me, really now, as I said, I've matured and I've come to a place of wisdom. When someone really corrects me, that I can come here with a stain and I can't see it, and then someone corrects me or helps me through my journey, I find that really beautiful. That's for me, it's love. I'll call it as well as an opportunity, which was more about, which is interesting because I'm in PR, and then I got into places or in situations where I needed to deal with reputation. So for example, there's a time I trended in 2015, then I trended again in 2018, and it was really difficult to see people you thought like you, talking about you, but then it became an opportunity for me to learn out of it. So why am I so mindful about what people think about me or how people view me? So just, again, as I said, I've been in a process of growth for the last 11 years as a person. I feel like this, the way people say a child came and this child has made them grow, this company has actually made me grow as well as a person. So when I say I've grown as a person, it's quite, I mean that. So the fact that I went through the trending, the being judged by people, and there's a way it would feel, but then it became an opportunity now for me to deal with that thing of why do I care about what Grace will think about me or what the other person will think about me? Why can't I be confident in who I am? So that has been what it looked like. It was difficult, but then it turned out for good for me to grow. That I'm playful, I think they've just known right now. I've never shown this part of me in the public. So I always came to interviews very serious, like this serious CEO, especially when I was in my 20s, because I feel I was trying to prove something. But I feel like right now, because I'm now becoming who I am, I'm not necessarily two-faced or two people. So I feel this other side of me, who is funny, who is playful, is coming out. I don't think you can silence the mind. It's what you allow in and out. So my process has been now learning when you know the way when you're in a traffic lights, you know which thought to stop, which thought to allow to go, and which thought to still wait. So I've just been in a process of learning now which thoughts to allow in and which thoughts now to allow to go, and now process them to the end. Reputation, yeah. I think it doesn't matter that much, and that's why, if you find me even teaching about PR, and that's what I was trying to tell you earlier, I think PR should be authentic. I think like PR is communication, yeah, right? But then when people see PR, they think reputation. Yes, it doesn't matter that much. And personally for me, what people think of you doesn't matter. What really matters is who you are really. When I was trying to think through something and I wasn't getting through, the way you're trying to break through to something, and then you keep going through a process without breaking through. So I can say like that, those have been long days when you're trying to come up with a solution for something or think through something, and you're not getting there. But I eventually do get there. That I'm growing. I think when you're faced with the same situation and then you react the same way, or you go through the same process that you went through the last time, that's when I'm like, I'm not growing. But when a situation is presented and I handle it differently, I'm like, oh, I've grown out of this thing. So next thing, what's the next thing? Because we are always growing into so many things. There are days I would tell myself a lie. And it was based on lack of knowledge of life. But then I don't think, as I said earlier, I think I'm living in my realest form, and there's much, much more. And I don't think I even have time to tell myself a lie. I'll sound like a very boring person. Being in a space where we are in fellowship with each other, I love having amazing and deep conversations. So when I'm having amazing and deep conversations, it's really beautiful for me. It depends where the top is, because how now you define the top might not be where I define the top. As I am becoming who I am, the more God actually draws people who are like me, and we are able to walk together in that journey. And then as I'm becoming, I'm able to, people who are working at Glasshouse, people who are interacting with me, they are able to fully enter into certain things because I've already, I've created a pathway for them. So it's not that I am on top of other people. It's like I'm in a different space, but yet God has drawn other people to me who are in the same space. And as I'm walking in this space, there's a pathway that has also been created for other people to follow. There are days I'll be ashamed, maybe ashamed that I couldn't communicate properly in English, but that was a lie, because I can, because I was taught English in Kikuyu. I went for skydiving.
How was it?
So before you go to jump, you're put in this plane. It's a very small plane. And then it became windy. First, I thought they'd close the door. So I'm asking them, why is the door open? And then it became so windy, and then the plane is shaking. I'm like, I should have not agreed to take this journey. But then, and then the guy tells me, we are jumping in 2 minutes. I'm like, you should have helped me throughout the whole, you should have taken me through a process before we jumped. Anyway, yeah, then we jumped. So that particular, the plane shaking, the particular jump was quite scary. But then once you jump, now you overcome all the fear, and now you're there in the sky for 7 minutes. It was amazing. They shouldn't mourn. They should celebrate that I came on earth and finished the work and created a pathway for them. Jeremiah 1:5, that I was known before I was formed in my mother's womb. So looking back and seeing that there are things I picked up once I was born, from school, from culture, from systems, but how do I go back to understand that picture that God had of me before I was formed in my mother's womb? So that is the scripture. So thinking through, what is this picture that he had of me before I picked all these Madhogodhanios in between. I have a question you should ask me, because I've remembered. What's the meaning of the name Mary? Because you asked me whether there's a question I have that. Rebellion.
Rebellion.
But it means rebelling against the culture and the systems that have been set by men. So that's why you hear me speaking like that, because I understand who I am. That's why even if I'm coming to the PR space, if there are thoughts that have been ingrained in people's mind, I come breaking them and telling them, but it's not like this, it's like this. So it means rebelling against the systems and the cultures that have been set by men, but more so rebelling against anything that is inside of me that is inimical to God. So that I go back to that picture that he had of me even before I was formed in my mother's womb. My life rebelled against cultures without knowing. Like, I finished high school at the age of 16, was working, of course I know that people start working at 19, started the company at 23. Like, I've always gone against the grade in that way. I went, the other day I was remembering, one day I went to a place in Lavington, people walk, it's called Jeffrey's, and then I started walking the opposite side, and people are like, what's wrong with this person? And then until an Indian came to me, he's like, oh, you're actually walking apparently the clockwise direction. She also now started walking the way I was walking. But yes, I've always gone against the grain. Most people have been told that God is this person on the door waiting for you with a big stick to cane you. He's not. That is not necessarily found in a setup, like a religious setup. He's not. That you have to approach him when you look a certain way or you have done certain things. He's not. That he is God, and you can access him wherever you are, and he's given everyone access. You just have to look for him.